Thank you all for joining us here or joining me here in Gate 14. This is a sponsored session, meaning I will be presenting a commercial tool. It's not free. We also have a free version, but most of what I'm gonna show today doesn't work in the free version. Just so you know. I am by myself. Morten was supposed to be here. He had a family emergency yesterday, so he had to jump on the first plane home. So it's just me, which I had to make some changes because all of our demos were actually going to be like role-playing. We were going to play multiple characters. I think I'm going to look quite crazy if I go through with that single person. So yeah, sorry. So I'm gonna do it traditional style instead. I'm David. I'm an architect at Tabular Editor. I'm the lead architect of Tabular Tools. I live in Denmark. I've been doing data since 2007. And yeah, I guess this is my second time speaking at SQL Bits. Always a good experience. Yeah, but you're not here to learn about me. I wanted to say, if I talk too fast, I have a tendency to do so. Please wave or do the slow down or just shout that I should talk slower. If I forget to use zoom it, do the same, just shout, zoom, god damn it, or something like that. If you have questions, indicate somehow that feels good to you, and I will ask you the question when there's a natural pause in the presentation. All right. Anyone who doesn't know Tabular Editor already? A couple, okay, all right. So Tabular Editor is a commercial company founded in 2021. We develop and sell Tabular Editor 3, the commercial product. We have customers in, I think the last I saw was 116 countries, which we're quite proud of, being almost 3 years old. And then we're one half of Tabular Tools. The other half is SQL BI, Marco and Alberto. Tabular Editor 3, it's an evolution of the open source product, Tabular Editor 2. We're really bad at naming stuff. There was originally a Tabular Editor 1, but that was an internal tool in a Danish consultancy, and then it just grew from there. It's going to be really frustrating when we get to Tabular Editor 3 version 4 point something. No one is going to, realize that, but it will cross that bridge when we get to it. Tabular Editor 2, it's open source. You can see all of the source code. You can commit to the source code if you want to contribute. It's free. It will stay free forever. We will not ever charge money for the free version. And then we have Tabular Editor 3. That's a commercial product. It has the same features and then some added features, of course. It is a Windows desktop application. We don't have any plans to bring it to any other operating systems because we're using some stuff that is Windows only, and it would just be a bitch to change all of that. It's all about productivity. We want to enable people that work professionally with tabular models or vertipack models or semantic models or whatever you want to call it to be more productive. Because, well, frankly, the tools that Microsoft provide, Power BI Desktop, it's a wonderful tool. It's built for citizen developers. It's not built for people who work professionally with data. Visual Studio is an amazing platform if you're doing software development. If you're doing data development, it's one of the most excruciating experiences you can put yourself through. So the sweet spot there is use Tabular Editor, either the free version or the commercial version. It's much better for the professional developer than any of those tools. We did a commercial version because we have invested heavily in building features that, well, we can't just keep doing for free. The open source version is something that our CTO Daniel built in his spare time, mostly. And well, he has 4 kids, so he doesn't have a lot of spare time. But it's we also have a dedicated support for the commercial version. So if you run into something that doesn't work or you have issues using the product, we are there to help you. This one I'm going to go through in every detail, so you know exactly the differences. No, I'm not. I have this here just to say, if you want to know all of the differences, go to docs.tabulareditor.com. You will see all of the differences between the open source version and the commercial version. I'm not going to go into the details, even though I prepared this slide. You can use Tabular Editor both as an online editing tool, connect to models that are already deployed somewhere. You can also use it as an offline tool on top of files, the serialized version of your models. And you can use it as an external tool on top of Power BI Desktop if you want to speed up the process while you're working inside of Power BI Desktop. All right. From here on out, it's going to be just a single slide to present a topic and then a demo. The session is sort of a continuation of the session last year, so I'm not going to go back to Adam and Eve and do all of the features we have. I'm going to focus on new features that we delivered during the last year, and I have a single slide on what's coming in the next couple of months, just to set expectations. And all right, before we start the demos, I have to introduce you to Spaceparts. I brought the wrong T-shirt today. If you've seen this guy at our booth, this is Borb. You'll be more acquainted with him very soon. So we launched a learning platform online that's free. I will have a few slides on it in the end. Just to make the training less boring, it's not just textual exercises, it's real-life examples of helping a company called Spaceparts be better at using their data to be a data-driven company. So Spaceparts, they produce and sell spaceship parts all over the universe. They have business-to-business customers, business-to-consumer, and business-to-galaxy. And of course, they use Tabular Editor for all of their semantic modeling. A quick introduction. The hero of the story is Borb, of course. He's the BI developer. Zip on the right-hand side is the one that mostly gives him new assignments. And when it gets really rough, he will reach out to Trophus. He's a support engineer, and he will help with the really heavy stuff, like debugging stuff. If you want to know how old they are, you take their galactic years and you multiply by pi, and then you have the equivalent in human years. And, well, they're from different planets in different systems. So the role-playing was going to be that one of us was going to be Borb, one of us was going to be Zip. We're going to have a meeting, and the agenda for the meeting is here. And I'm just going to take up my notes as well, so I don't forget everything. So we're going to go through a new proposed workflow for fixing measures. We're going to spend some time on translations. We're going to spend some time on perspectives, how to show a subset. We're going to spend a little bit of time on the new PBIP format and a workaround if you've ever tried to download a PBIX from the Power BI service and you get this report cannot be downloaded because it was edited by a third-party tool. We have a workaround for that now. I'm going to show. I'm going to go into some performance, mostly about the integration we have coming with the first product from Tabular Tools, which is called DAX Optimizer. I'm going to spend a tiny bit of time just telling you what DAX Optimizer is, and then I'm going to show you how we're going to integrate it into Tabular Editor. And last, we have well, an introduction to the training, the learning platform. Okay, fixing measures. Let's jump into Tabular Editor. So the scenario here is that Borb has received a support ticket. In their main model, the net sales and gross sales is giving the same result, and that is wrong. So you could investigate in a number of ways. Of course, you can go into your measures, and then you can look at, let me just find gross sales. Note calculation items. Here. You can go into gross sales and you can see what the definition is. You can also find net sales. Perhaps it would have been better searching for sales. Let's do net sales. It's here. But this is a little bit cumbersome because I have to switch between them. I can only see the expression for one measure at a time. So let me investigate if they're actually true. You know, users are stupid. Sometimes they report issues that aren't there. So we're just going to do a new DAX query. In here, I'm going to do a summarize columns. I'm going to summarize by month year. I will zoom. Yes. This, that's the wrong one. This is the one. Okay, so month year. You will also probably notice the lightning fast IntelliSense we have. So I'm going to do net sales. I'm going to do gross sales. And that's it. I want to run that. I pressed F5 to run it. I could also have pressed the exclamation point up here, but F5, I'm a keyboard shortcut kind of guy. And actually, it turns out that our end users, I'm messing up the keyboard shortcuts for Zoom it, and now my mouse is gone, which doesn't make it easier. Okay. I can't see my mouse. Windows, come on. Okay, let's do this. So you'll notice that the business users were actually correct. Net sales and gross sales is giving the same result for all of the months. So now that we know that there is a problem, let's dig into it. So what I'm going to do, there are multiple ways you could attack this. I want to see inline in my DAX query the definition of net sales and gross sales. There's a number of ways I can do that. So if I right-click, I can do inline measure. That will change the reference to the measure to the measure definition. That's not really useful for me right now. I'm just going to do Control-Z to kill that. I could do define measure with dependencies. That will actually take every piece of DAX code that's used to calculate that measure and put it on top, so I can go through all of it. That's a little bit excessive for my use case right now. I just want the definition of gross sales, so I can just do define measure. I can also, this is a little bit frustrating without my mouse. I can also do define on net sales. So I have gross sales on top, I have net sales below. They don't look the same, but if I go and inspect the measures that's used in gross sales, I'll see that they're kind of similar. Actually, if we went through them meticulously, you would see that they're exactly the same. So in the support ticket, it said that gross sales should, net sales should exclude some items, adjustments. So let me just check if adjustments are actually part of, oh my God. So I'm gonna add invoice document type group, Run the same query again. And if I go here, I'll see, yeah, adjustments are included in both net sales and gross sales. So not only was the business user correct about that there was an issue, they actually also kind of knew the solution for it. So let me go ahead and oh my god. Does anyone know how you get your mouse back on Windows? That's a good suggestion. Let's just quickly log it and open it again. And nope, go to Mac. I have a mouse. Go to Windows. I don't have a mouse. Is it assume it back? Okay, so I should. And I don't even have my toolbar, so I can't. Okay, we'll try to make it work. Yeah, but that doesn't even work. Nothing happens. Now nothing really happens. Okay. Control Shift Escape, taskbar, kill zoom it. If I can, let's see. All right. I got up too late this morning. I forgot to do my offering to the demo gods. I apologize for that. No, come on. Yeah. Woo. But next issue. Now I don't have zoom it. Let me just find my zoom it. Yeah, but it's only gonna increase this one. Okay, let's do that. Okay, let's continue. So what I want to do here is I want to add a filter into my calculate statement. I want to tell it that the group of the invoice document type should not be adjustment. Okay, let's see if that fixed it. So when you do the define measure here, even though the measure exists in the model, you're overriding it for the query scope. So the definition I have here is the one that's going to be used while I query it, which is quite handy when I'm trying to fix an issue and I don't want to just continuously deploy to the model to test it. It seems like adjustment is still doing stuff. I have, well, it doesn't seem right. So Borp, being the good BI developer he knows that he has to do a, just a second. A keep filters, of course. So if we do a keep filters, we just, now I'm gonna kill this column. Let's see. All right, it seems like that now we have the right results, or at least they're different. We'll assume it's the right result, right? So now I've gone through modifying my measure in the query scope, but it's still not deployed to the model. But every define statement in here, I can apply to the model by just clicking up here or clicking F7. So now I click this, and it will immediately update whatever I changed in my query scope. So now it's fixed in the model. I can save it back to the model, and I can tell the creator of the support ticket that the issue has been resolved. So I said that it was a proposed workflow, so let's just quickly go through that. So set layout. You can set the layout to whatever, how you want to work with Tabular Editor 3. You can adjust the windows the way you want. I didn't do that because it was fine for me the way it was. So of course, when you want to manipulate the measures, you can just go and mark the DAX object in the Tom Explorer, see the definition in the expression editor, like we did in the beginning. If it's just a simple change, just go ahead and fix it in the expression editor. But if you want to do troubleshooting, or you're not entirely sure what the change should be. Our proposed workflow is to use the DAX query like I did here, define the measures, change the measure definitions, bring in all of the dependencies if you need to have the full overview. I didn't go into debugging the measure. I could do that as well. But for this, it was just a quick change. And when you're done, just save it back to the model. All of the changes you've done will be applied immediately. So that's a proposed workflow. I actually forgot to show you one thing while I was in there. And for that, I do need Zoom it. So apologize for a while. I just browse to where I keep it. It is in my personal software. Zoom it. All right, so when you are browsing your data, either in a DAX query or in a pivot grid, if you want a quick overview, you can mark whatever you want in here, and the bottom you will have a quick summary of what you marked. You can see the sum, the min, the max, how many, the average, and the mouse is gone again. But nope, there it is again. So the quick summary was just what I forgot to show you. And now my notes are gone. Alrighty. Okay. Next thing I want to show you are visual indicators. I am quickly gonna get my notes on a device with batteries. Just a second. You can prepare as much as you want. Something will always happen. What to do, what to do. All right. Let me just go behind the scenes in this slide and see my notes. Okay. I want to show you relationship highlighting, which is a feature that was released a few weeks ago. I need to kill this. So sometimes you have big complex models, and it can be overwhelming to find out what's connected to what and so forth. So one thing we brought in a few months ago was if you highlight a table or a column, like for instance budget, we will highlight whatever relationships are attached to that table or that column, just to make it easy for you to see what the context is you're in. The other thing is, if we go to messages, if you're connected live like I am here, I'm connected to a model in a Fabric Kapacity, you will see alerts if there are tables that has not been processed, if they are lacking data, so that you know that you have to process them before you can actually check your model and check your data. There is a general rule that is available in MDX should be turned off for a lot of things, because it will increase your model size, it will increase the time it takes to calculate queries, but there are some columns you cannot turn it off on. Like if a column is used as a sort by column, it needs to be enabled. So we added a, so you can see this one has a sort by column. It uses calendar year number. I forgot to zoom. So this one has to have, is available in MDX turned on for it to work, or you will have issues with your model. So if you go ahead and turn that off, you will have an error here in the messages view that this is bad, you should go and fix it. And you can just double click it to take you to that specific property that you need to fix. So gonna turn that on again. A simple thing, because we used to have import and direct query. Now we have import, direct query, and direct lake. So sometimes it can be a little bit confusing what you're actually working with. So we added that to the header. So you can always see what type of data model you're working with in the header. Here it says import, because I'm working on an import model. Yeah. It refers to the model itself. Sorry, the question was, does that relate to the model or to the tables? Because you can have multiple modes. It relates to the model itself. A model is a direct lake model is a direct lake model, and of course tables can be different, but the model will have a general storage mode. So it's related to the model. And one of the last ones, if you do a query and you have variables, we will show a squiggly line if you're not using a variable, because unused variables will just increase your processing time, and it will produce less readable DAX. So we will have now a warning if you have unused variables. When you create quite complex measures, it's not unusual to have many variables, and sometimes you forget to clean up if you change the code further down. Yes?
I think that's not quite what that error is showing there.
Was it?
That's a syntax error because you haven't completed your method.
Okay. It will when I'm finished. No, that's not it. What am I doing wrong?
It's a DAX query, not a measure return.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. It's a DAX query. It's not a measure. Sorry. Let's just do, well, we'll put a new measure here. Create a measure. Create a measure. But you're completely right. It was not what the error was showing. I'm doing something wrong. Well, I should go to the expression editor. Okay. If it doesn't work now, you're just going to have to trust me. Yeah, there it is. Okay, thank you for your help. Okay, that's what I wanted to show in this. So, translations. If you want to translate your model, you will need to go to the bottom to add a translation. So I'm Danish. I'm going to go ahead and add a Danish translation, and let me also just add a Norwegian one. Okay. Let me just a second while I restart my Tabular Editor instance. I'm going to open up a new one here. Well, let me use this one. I'll connect to the same model. It's in my Fabric capacity. This one. Okay, we're back. I'm just gonna stick with one this time. I'm gonna add Danish. And then previously you would have to go through all of your items in here to translate them. So you would go to your fact table, do invoices. That's not invoices in Danish. That is faktura. The new thing is that now you can actually go ahead and open a translation editor. So here you can open one translation. You can open multiple. If you had multiple, that's why I wanted to show it. You would have Danish, Norwegian, whatever. And you can just go through here and translate everything. I know this is not rocket science. I know it was in analysis services multidimensional 10, 15 years ago, but it's still missing in Tabular. Now you have it here. But we can also go one step further. If you read our blog, blog.tabulareditor.com, you would probably have seen this one. If you haven't, I highly suggest you put it in your favorites. I did a blog post almost a year ago on how to use GPT to translate your measures. So I'm not going to go through everything about setting up a developer account with OpenAI, copying the script, all of that. I prepared that already, and then I saved it as a macro. So what I can do now is I can go into my measures and measure tables. Let's do that one. Measures, total, actuals, and sales target. So if I highlight some of the measures, I right-click, I saved it as a macro in the AI folder, in the translation folder, and then it's translate measure using GPT-3. It's going to use an API key that I created with OpenAI. It's going to run a bunch of queries, take the result, and publish it on that property on the measures. So if we now go and look, there should be a Danish translation here. So actuals become faktiske værdier. That's sort of okay. Of course, you should never just trust what GPT does. You should always validate it. But this can actually save you a lot of time by starting with the translation of all of your measures and all of your columns and all of your tables. I stole most of this from a different blog post, so I want to give credit to Darren Gospel. He did a blog post about creating descriptions for measures, which is also really good. The LLMs of the world they're terrible at writing DAX, so you shouldn't use them for that, even though Microsoft will tell you that it's so good. It's just not ready. It will create bad DAX for you. If it gives the right result, it will not perform. If it performs, it will not give the right result. There's no silver bullet yet. But the LLMs are quite good at understanding DAX. So taking a DAX expression and telling you what it does is something you can also do. And I've also saved that as a macro. So go to AI, go to GPT, and do generate measure descriptions. So this will send a prompt to GPT and ask it to describe this measure in human terms. So it ends up, this calculation is telling us, let's see, what does it say? I'm gonna read to tell, well, so it's a starting point. It's not always perfect, but you can start by doing descriptions. And I highly encourage you to do descriptions because they are visible to your end users in their front-end tools. So they will have a description of what this is and not just the name of the measure. And of course, other people have stolen Darren's work. Eric has done something about documenting both measures and tables and putting them into a calculation group. So the sky's the limit. And I highly encourage you to play around with this, but use it in this direction. Go from DAX to something else. Don't go from something else to DAX, not yet at least. So that's it for translations. I don't know if you noticed that they popped up here. No, you didn't, because I'm not. They pop up in the translation editor also. Thank you. All right, I have to speed up. Where's my PowerPoint? Perspectives, that's going to be a really quick demo. Like we have the translation editor, we also build a perspective editor. So if you add perspectives, I'm just going to name this perspective 1, and I'm going to name the next one perspective 2. You can go ahead and show them in perspective editor, and it's roughly the same thing. You decide what's included in a perspective just by check marking here, and it's auto updated on the columns and tables and measures. PVIP. Perhaps I should skip this demo because of time. I am gonna direct you to our doc site, docs.tabulator.com. Hiding under TE3 docs, we have a article about creating a PBIX file from the XMLA endpoint. Basically, we're abusing the PBIP format because inside of the PBIP format is just a model.bim file. And connecting to an existing model in the service, you can save it as a model.bim file. So you can just overwrite the model.bim file that is included in the PBIP format, and then you have a PBIX you can use in Power BI Desktop. There is a note here: the described workaround isn't officially supported by Microsoft. That's well, we have to tell you that. But so far, we have only heard from people that it works fine. The issue is when you have modified a model using an external tool, and you go here and you do, I want to download this file, you will get this error because it's still not capable of letting you download a file if it has been manipulated by a non-Microsoft tool. Okay. Performance. I'll save that for last. Direct Lake. We have full support for Direct Lake now. Is anyone already using Direct Lake? Not a lot. Anyone using it in production? Oh, you are brave. So in the beginning, we had support for editing an existing Direct Lake model. Now you can create them from scratch within Tabular Editor 3. You just go to File, New, Model. You have to do it as a Power BI dataset. I can use a workspace database or not if you don't know what that is. Unfortunately, I won't have time to go into details right now. And then you can import tables. It's only available for implicit data sources, which is what you should be using if you're using the Power BI service or Fabric. You just go here to, you want to do Direct Lake. But unfortunately, I won't have time to go into more details on that. Sorry, I'm losing track of time with all the issues. I want to show you here what's coming soon. Of course, DAX Optimize integration. I was gonna present that, but I am losing time, so I probably won't have time. It's going GA next week on the Vegas conference. It is. I typically describe it as Marco Russo and Alberto Ferrari in a box. Because it is taking all of their knowledge, all of their experience, and using a very advanced rule engine, checking for anti-patterns in your DAX measures. So it will find issues, it will show you where the issues are, it will suggest how to fix it, and then, thank you, it will also help you evaluate if your fixes actually fixes the problem, or if you, by mistake, introduced a different issue. So integration for that is coming very soon, hopefully in the next release, or it will come in the next release, but perhaps it won't be feature complete. We're working on a better Power Query experience. We believe we have one of the best DAX editing experiences out there, and we are committed to doing the same for Power Query. So that's being worked on as we speak. we're seeing a lot of people having really massive measures definitions. So we're improving code folding just so you can easily get an overview of the entire measure definition without having to scroll too much. And then last one, of course, there's a lot of new Microsoft features coming out in Fabric and in Power BI. We are very dedicated to adding support for those as soon as possible. We are part of the our CTO is an MVP, and we're a partner with Microsoft, so we do get access to early builds of a lot of things and add support for them before they're officially launched, so that we can launch our support immediately after. So we're very dedicated to that, and there's a lot of things coming that I cannot disclose, but you should probably just pay attention to social media during the next week or so. I wanted to introduce you to Tabular Editor Learn, as I said in the beginning. This is a learning platform online. We collaborated with the amazing Kurt Bueller to create this. So he is the creator of the learning platform. He's also the voice you will hear on the videos. It says 25 plus hours of free content. I think we have 30 hours of video content, and then there's also things you need to read and exercises you need to do. It's completely free. It teaches Tabular Editor 3, and it teaches data modeling skills. You will need a Tabular Editor license in order to complete a lot of it, but you can use the free trial if you don't have a license. And the feedback that we get is that it's really good at teaching non-Tabular Editor stuff, or the best practices of how to do your data modeling as well. So I encourage you to take a look at it. You don't need to go from start to finish. You can pick and mix. There's 9 courses, and there is many modules in each course, so you can just take the ones that are relevant to you. There's also quizzes to test your knowledge. There's business cases where you have to help either Borb or SIP or Trophus solve a real business problem. You just go to tabulareditor.learn, tabulareditor.com/learn, and then you sign up, and you can spend as long time taking this as you want. It's free, and it will be free for the duration. If you do want to test your knowledge, there's also a certification that you can take. It's 25 questions out of a pool of roughly 100 questions right now. You do need to pass with have 80% correct in order to pass. You have 3 attempts, and currently we're limited by the platform we've chosen. So once you've done those 3 attempts, and if you don't pass on either of them, you won't be able to take the exam again. So spend your tries wisely. Right now we have a support ticket open with them in order to do something like, perhaps you can't do it for half a year or something, and then you can do it again. But right now it's a hard limit. If you fail 3 times, you're out. If any of you are working for a consulting agency and you want to be able to train your customers in Tabular Editor, we will also bring a certified trainer exam very soon. And so we will have certified trainers, certified partners, and we will supply all of the learning material to you, so you can train other people in how to use Tabular Editor for data modeling. I do encourage you to do the feedback, even though this is a sponsored session. It will help me on what was good, what wasn't good. Don't mention all of the technical issues. And I wanted to end with just the amazing Kurt Bueller presenting the content for you. So I have just a almost 2-minute video, just as a teaser for the learning.
Welcome to the Tabular Editor Enterprise Training course. In this course, you'll learn how to use Tabular Editor with instructional videos, interactive summaries, questions to test your knowledge, and business cases to practice and learn. You might be wondering who this cartoon character is on the right-hand side. This is Borb, and we're going to be helping him learn Tabular Editor too. because BORP is a part of Spaceparts, and we are going to be working with Spaceparts in order to improve their many tabular models. Spaceparts is a company that produces and sells many spaceship parts to many customers all over the universe. We're going to be working with 3 different people in Spaceparts to help them learn and use Tabular Editor. We're going to work with BORP, the enterprise developer, Zip, the desktop analyst, and Trophus, the support engineer. These 3 people have really been struggling with the data models in Spaceparts. These data models have a lot of bad practice violations and a lot of issues, not only with performance, but also things like data quality, deployment, across the board.
And conference Wi-Fi for you. Sorry about that. If you are not already following Kurt's blog, datagoblins.com, I highly encourage you to do so. He produces some of the most amazing content
just
out there.
Issues galore.
Oh.
Thankfully, however, Spaceparts have recently discovered Tabular Editor and are ready to use it to improve their data models. With our help, Spaceparts are hopefully going to be making better data models faster thanks to the tools in Tabular Editor 3. We hope that you can use this course to be able to learn the different tools and features of Tabular Editor to not only help Spaceparts, but also to help yourself build better data models faster. Make sure that you pay special attention to the business cases and the sample datasets to practice what you learn.
Okay, let's kill it there. And one thing I wanted to point out is that even though this is done for the commercial tool, and you will need the commercial tool to complete all of the exercises, a lot of what you learn can also be used with the free version. So even if you're using the free version, I encourage you to look at the training material. The feedback we get from even experienced BI developers is they still learn a lot, both about Tabular Editor, but also about data modeling. And with that, any questions? Any you want to? Yeah. Yes, it is. The question was if the exam was on the learning side. I actually have it opened just for that. So if you go to tabulareditor.com/learn and you are not on conference Wi-Fi, you'll see course 1 through 9, and then the end, the certification exam. The same goes for all of them. You will need to create a profile. You can either set up one with username and password, email and password, or you can use your Azure AD /Intra ID to open it up. It will save your progress automatically. You can see if I open this, I'm not the best at taking our courses. Oh, it was, let's just go again here. Open course. My authorization was timed out. Authentication. So it's going to take you to wherever you finished last time you were in the course. There's 1 minute left. And under my courses, you can see your progress for all of the courses. All right. Yes, also? Yes. Well, the question is if debugging is available if you have inline measures. We have made improvements. We're not 100% there yet, but yes, it's not a complete blocker if you have inline measures, but there are still scenarios where you cannot debug it. It's still something we're working on. Yeah? The question is if we plan to add support for calculation groups in the debugger. Yes, but I do not know when. Yes?
So is the licensing for the DAX optimizer separate from Tabular Editor 3?
The question is if the licensing for DAX optimizer is separate from Tabular Editor 3. Yes, it is completely separate. Tabular Editor sells Tabular Editor, and Tabular Tools sells DAX optimizer. It's a different company. I'm not going to rule out that we will have bundles eventually, but we don't have current plans for it, and we're at time. So if you have other questions, I will pack up and go down in the exhibit area because I'm also manning our sponsor booth, but you can just come by and ask anything you want. Thank you for your time.